Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you're all well. Today I'll be taking this shorter lecture on employability and careers in the sport and fitness industry. Move on, next slide. So today is very much just for me to go over with you all the different career options you can work towards from your own degree in sports therapy and rehab. Give you an idea what I did during my own time here. Maybe that may generate some new ideas for yourselves, potential career options for you. Give me advice, tips and tricks of the trade to give you a head start in today's graduate market. And focusing on it's not a degree, it's your degree. And we'll come back to this later on with some of the more detailed slides about personalizing your own learning experience at higher education. So I'm going to start with going through how I got into sport and exercise science and how it's led to where I am now. So 2012, hard to believe it's nearly 10 years ago, which is frightening for me. So I would have been, see if I'm 26, yeah, so I would have been 17 or nearly 17 at this point. And again, didn't have a specific job in mind to go ahead and do, but I knew it would be sport or sport related. I did a couple of work placements from my school. So by placements, I mean it was 5 days of placements in 5 different fields or areas. So one was at a primary school teaching, one was a secondary school teaching, one was in a physio clinic, one was a PT, and one was with Ulster Rugby. From like their, it's kind of a combination of their sports journalism and also their S&C. So again, this is the pictures of me there doing it. Again, from all of them, very eye opening, seeing what different works I could do in the field. Again, I would recommend all of you to try and go and learn different experiences just to broaden your own horizons. But at the time, during my A levels, I didn't really do that good. I went A B E, so I sort of restricted my university options. So, and based on points that came out as BBC, I think it was, or BCC. And from those experiences, I sort of had 2 or 3 future jobs that may interest me. And again, that was like sports science, strength and conditioning within elite sport. And again, they were sort of the thing there, but I didn't know what in it. So one, apply what I'd learned, as I'd seen, too many people get a degree and not stay in the field, or get a degree but work somewhere completely different. I didn't want to be that person, because again, I've seen like other students from my second school and years above go and do a university course but work in a completely separate field than what they did. And I always thought that was just a waste. So I didn't really want to be that person. So with me, so again, all began at Teesside for me. So I came over here in 2013 to do their undergraduate in applied sports science. I quite liked the sound of it, what it described itself as, and it did live up to expectation with it, that it was not just the theory of sports science, but also the application in practical settings, hence the name applied. I thought it was very, very good. I learned like a lot from it. And during this, as I was going through the years, I was like, I quite like, working towards elite sport, not only as a coach, but as a competitive elite athlete at the time. So I thought, you know what, I'll go for, and also my first experience of university in HE was rocking up to Teesside on my moving day, literally a couple of days before my course started. So very much thrown in the deep end with it. So within that their first year, I thought, okay, let's try a few things. So started my own online training blog where I talked about different coaching stuff, sports news, theories, training methods. and that's called Strength is Never a Weakness blog. Again, some who may have seen it, may have not. Then I also went to the Students' Union because I wanted to continue my sport, which was powerlifting at the time. But there wasn't a powerlifting team there, so they said, go ahead and start your own club, Andrew. So I was like, all right. So went ahead, started. That was December 2013, and that's where I started more of my coaching from there too. Within the sports science degree, we were always actively encouraged to get involved, to help with other research projects, either lecturers or other, like the senior students were doing, either as a test subject or just to assist. So I got involved as many as I could just to try and learn off people. Again, that was really cool, not only for my own personal development, to understand the theory and education, but also to create those interpersonal skills and links with other staff. It was interesting now because at that time I saw a lot of them as just staff or professional colleagues, but as the years have gone by, a lot of them now I consider as like friends, which obviously from a personal sense is nice, but it just shows you, like, you do bounce off the walls with similar and like-minded people, and that made the experience better too as well, because I want to be around those type of people who have the same sort of passions and interests within sports science, applied science, and exercise science. At the time as well, I was thinking, well, I've got to get some extra qualifications under my belt, because it can't just be the sport and exercise science degree. So I got my level 2 gym instructor and my level 1 in British weightlifting qualification, or I think that's called the assistant weightlifting coach now from British weightlifting. I don't know. But they're both the same equivalents to each other. Then after the first careers lecture we had, I think it was done by Saeed Mohammed, and the career service, which is now called Student Futures here. He gave a lecture, and I thought, after, I'll just drop him a line just to try and see what other options are there. And again, from that sort of careers meeting, the side was very much, start planning longer term, thinking about different options you can do. Just encouraging me to try everything that may interest me. There's no point not trying anything. So I was like, okay, I'll have a go with that. At the same time, towards the end of the first year, there was jobs coming out, for working in the university gym underneath the sport and wellbeing department. So I was like, yep, sure. Applied for that. Thankfully got it. And then again, there's just some part-time work just to get my foot in the door in the industry. Very much at that stage, it was gym inductions, equipment maintenance, showing people around how to demonstrate equipment use safely. Again, just a bit of cash in the pocket, but a gym instructor, to put bluntly, you are a glorified cleaner, and that is the unfortunate reality of it. However, as the role progresses, the more experience you get with it, and the more sort of extra qualification you do get involved in, like the fitness classes, the personal training, the MOTs, the personal programs, whatnot, and obviously monitoring the gym floor, working with different people, making sure they're doing things right. So it is a stepping stone, but just beware, if some of you have got your level 2 gym instructor, you're at the bottom of the food chain within the actual gym, and you do have to work your way up. So the next one for that would be getting your level 3 personal trainer. So during all this here, I was very much still actively coaching the powerlifting team here and competing myself. Again, we were doing very well in the club. We won the Northern Universities event. Again, that's the picture there with it. For our own athletes, I was very fortunate enough to win the Sportsman of the Year at the uni, and also picked up an international level 2 coach in powerlifting, which means I can coach anywhere in the world if I wanted to. And also, that qualification was through the Irish Powerlifting Federation, which at the time I was one of the assistant coaches. I interned at a S&C gym in Dublin for a month or so, and just over the summer from 2014 to 2015, gained myself all the experience working with bodybuilders, fitness models, boxers, different types of athletes, or just general population, people just wanted to lose weight and be healthier. I also had the opportunity to meet a couple of MSK patients as well. Also got into SSC for a couple of days as the sports surgery clinic in Santry, Dublin. It is worth you searching that. They do a lot of, I think they've probably got one of the best models of surgery, the physiotherapy to S&C rehab. It's like a return to play pathway, and all the professionals work with each other and they all talk to each other and they all learn from each other. So it's not like in 3 silos, they all work as one, which I think is a very good model to have. So that is the Sports Surgery Clinic, Santry, Dublin, SSC. So it's worth searching at. And they've got some really good YouTube videos on return to play pathways for ACL rehab, tendinopathies, Achilles tendon rehabs, whatnot, and they got some free online conferences, like from their free online presentations from their conferences as well. So into the final year of my undergrad, I thought, you know what, I'll have a go with this. I started my online business. So this was very much so between these two here. I'm pretty sure what was it from? Yeah, it didn't say there. Yeah. So between second year and third year, I also got my PT qualifications, so my level 3 personal trainer. And as I was PT in the gym, I also thought, you know what, I could make a bit more money and get more clients by doing this online as well. And it saves me time too, instead of just being in the gym all the time. So I started my online business, which was RSC, Richardson Strength and Conditioning. And again, that was mainly working with athletes. I worked with rowers, rugby players, swimmers, powerlifters, hockey players, whatnot. And again, that was fun. Just a change of experience. Especially now with COVID-19 and lockdown, online training is the way to go. Especially, you know, training a whole range of demographics, populations out there who may have and may not have actual access to training equipment or may have a lack of education around it. So that is a unique opportunity I would advise you to potentially go on down. Fortunately, I got my first class honours in my undergrad. And during this year, I was asked to take a couple of classes, like lectures, whatnot, and this sort of spurred my interest a bit into the whole teaching side. Again, it's a picture of me and it's all my friends. What we sort of did find indirectly, because some of us chat about that, the group of friends that I hung out with, who we all studied together, work together, whatnot, we all got first, and all the ones who got first all stayed in the field within sports science and health. I don't know if that was just a coincidence or chance, but you know, they do say, you know, the people, like the 5 people you hang out with most are a reflection of you as well. Again, this is what I was told. Don't know how much truth that is then, but at the time, you know, we were all very much set on trying to get the best work out of ourselves. So my advice to you is as well, make sure you've got a good study group of friends and peers who can push you, who can help you in your work, and they're not afraid to call you out and say, here, listen, I don't think you're doing that quite right. Have you perhaps looked at it from this point of view? You know, because the more you learn, the less you actually know, and it's okay to say, I don't know something. That's fine. You know, as long as you can admit it, that's totally all right. Just be honest with yourself, and if you don't know something, just ask. And it's important you ask and you learn, because that way you can reflect, apply it, and then you can understand it, and then use it in the long term. So again, going on with the third year, I still continued to coach the uni team, and I was still working in the gym at this time as well. I was fortunate enough to get called up to the Irish team at 2 international events to coach and to compete as well. I was during this year as well, I thought, you know what, I do want to get a master's in this area to specialize some more and just learn some more in the area. I still don't feel like I know enough, and I want to sort of not only work in the field of sports science and health, but I want to ensure I go for interviews, I've got that master's over someone who just has an undergrad. It's just like a tick box exercise, but in a very important tick box exercise as well. So, as I said, I want to do the master's. And very much at this time, alongside it, I was really pushing myself out online more. What else can I do? So I started from my blog experience. I started to write more articles for other sites for free, just to get myself out there. Start offering more and more PT at the uni and everything. So by this stage, so at this stage, in terms of PT, I've probably done close to 300 hours, I reckon, at that stage, from both like online and in person. Again, from my online clients, Paul here at the time is he's my first client who actually got international honors, which was again a brilliant honor for him. But for me as a coach, I was really pleased. I started looking at stuff within the university, so I put myself forward to be course rep for the masters. Again, just seeing if I can just help the course out and stuff, whatnot. Again, wasn't a very pardon me, wasn't a very taxing role or anything. Just thought I'll just try it. Got one of my first articles published in a magazine, so that this was the IPF, International Powerlifting Federation magazine. Again, it's got over 50,000 subscribers, which at the time was nearly more of my blog hits. Myself and another coach within British Powerlifting, or GB Powerlifting at the time, was how to get powerlifting into BUCS, British University Collegiate Sport. Again, that was a project we were doing. My master's work, so this is where I sort of branched differently. So from being the elite sport, and also I found quite a strong interest in doping and anti-doping behaviours and whatnot. I found anabolic steroids, performance anti-drugs, and body image quite interesting. And I thought, no, this stuff's really cool. So my master's dissertation tutor lead was Laura Fleming, which some of you may know. I pitched an idea to her. She thought it was really, really good. And then we rolled with that. And both of us with one other colleague, Dr. Mark Chen, we've now submitted that from that master's research project to potential paper. So fingers crossed in the next month or so, I hear back that'll be a paper published. But also at the same time, from my own sort of interest in pushing this more, I just risked it and thought, you know what, I'll ask like a really well-known lecturer in the field. And this is something you guys and girls can all do. Like if you see like an academic who's well published in the field, and you're thinking about doing like a dissertation topic in that, just drop them an email. So what I did was I dropped an email to this gentleman here. So his name is Professor Harrison Pope. So he's probably the world leading physician stroke clinical psychologist when it comes to body image, specifically for those dealing with bigorexia, stroke, muscle dysmorphia, or body dysmorphic disorders of that type and range in association or with using anabolics. Again, very well known, well published academic. Currently works in the Harvard Medical School as well. And obviously, from our sort of passion, like me and Laura's interest in it, like I asked him about my own work, and he just sent me loads of papers to read. He said, Andrew, have a crack reading these. These may help your own work. I know you may get that if it's something around like massage therapy or a rehab method to speed up the recovery process. That there's no reason why not. You shouldn't ask someone, because the worst they can say is no, or they don't respond, and anything else is just a bonus for you. So from that there, and obviously me and Laura having a key interest, we just end up speaking to him more and more. Then we're actually now working with him on a piece of research as well. So again, just having those initial conversations can open up doors further down the line for you. So my advice is just ask plenty of questions, because you never know what they could actually offer you. And obviously from this year, starting a bit more lecturing within the uni and some guest lectures in gyms regarding training and stuff. Then after that there, I was sort of thinking, I actually quite like this teaching stuff. I think I'll go do my PGCE. So as a footnote, I did my PGCE here. However, it was just the PGCE, so that's the postgraduate certificate in education for post 14-year-olds, so 14 and above. But the PGCE now at Teesside Uni is the PGCE with QTLS, and that is the QTLS stands for Qualified Teacher and Learner Status, which essentially is, in a very short and brief description of it, is it's similar to the PGCE, but what it gets you, and then once you're employed, is it just gives you a higher band pay. That's a very short, simple analogy of it, but that's what it is. So skipping, I've done my QTLS last year. So you don't obviously have to do it right now with your PGC, but if you were to go off and do it, I'd recommend you just get it done in the one go, because the work's very, very similar. And I felt when I was doing my QTLS, I was in essence repeating the PGCE course. So if I was you, do a PGCE course with the QTLS, because that will save you time and you get two qualifications instead of the one, and you'll be more desirable for employers. And obviously with this PGCE, so it's just from 2017, 2018, it's a qualification for life. You don't have to go back, renew it, or get an updated license or anything, which is great. I got some funding for it. So what I mean by funding is, so for example, me being from Northern Ireland, again, there may be some of the students here listening who are, the Northern Ireland government at the time were looking to fund for more teachers, and they're looking to subsidize the PGC courses so they can have more teachers, ideally for those teachers to come back and work in Northern Ireland, but you didn't have to. They just want to get more teachers rolled in, which myself and my parents, we thought this was a bit of a loophole. We went applied for it, got it anyway. We even inquired Richardson saying, do I have to teach back in Northern Ireland, even though I'm doing the PGC in England? They went, nope, that's fine. We're like, okay, we're not going to ask any more questions about this. We're going to crack on with it. So I got half the course funded itself anyway. What you'll find is that now there's such a demand for teaching, in particular other subject areas like the maths, the STEM, biology, whatnot. They will look to get funding for them, for you can go off and teach them as well. So my advice is, when you're applying for PGCE courses, do also go away, do a bit of research, particularly either at the schools you want to teach at or within the regional educational board, or just type into Google or your search engine PGCE funding routes, and again, you can get a range of things. Sometimes as well, the placement provider which you're going to do your PGC with, i.e. the actual school, they will fund you through the PGC so you can stay on and teach for them. That has happened. It's not uncommon. Sometimes when you're doing your PGC as well, that during the placement may hire you to teach. However, you just have to balance it with your own like work commitments, study commitments, and whatnot. So just something to bear in mind. But I think a PGC is a great thing. You should definitely look to do it, not only if it's just to teach within sports science, sports therapy, but also, just improve your own skills as a academic, as a learner, to just communicate better, to like present information to a range of audiences and groups. So my own audiences and groups for the placements I had were one of the sports teams at the uni, within the sport and exercise science department, and within the drug and alcohol rehab clinic in Middlesbrough. So very much, three experiences under sport and health, but three very different types of experiences as well. So one was like teaching students their level 2 exams, really getting basic physical activity principles, getting them in the door, understanding, what is physical activity and how can we promote it to people. Again, working with a range of athletes from beginner, novice to intermediate to advanced level athletes in the sports team. And again, working with dual diagnosis patients, mental health patients, drug and alcohol patients within this clinic. So again, very different experiences. All of them require me to change my delivery style, communication styles, working with them, and that's helped give me a plethora of skills and experiences that I'm very grateful for and I can learn from. And obviously during that there, as I said earlier, the drug alcohol clinic, they actually hired me for a month and a half paid, because the lead gym manager had to leave and have someone fill in. So I got to work more hours there, which is great, not only for have some extra cash in my pocket, but also to gain some more experience for the PGC and to collect some more hours too. So that was a huge benefit. So again, after this year, this was a very much big change, but again, it wasn't too big a change from once I did it, what I felt. The title's a bit misleading of it, so I'll explain it. So I ran for office here at the Students' Union in 2018 for me to start in, that was March 2018, to start in July 2018 to finish to July 2019. Again, so the role was president of activities of the Students' Union, which would cover sports, societies, international students, employability and careers, and any sort of events at the SU. And obviously, as an elected officer of the Students' Union, your role there is to represent all the students at your uni. So this is like for any sort of student union officer and or president, and each of them have different sort of roles they carry within it. So again, I won't try this role to give me a different experience of what I can do within sport or sport and activity and health. I've seen some of my friends do it in the past before at this uni and others, and they all say it was very good for them, their careers, open up other networks and doors for them. So I thought, okay, well, we'll give it a go. So this was very much management, systems or organization, events, marketing, policy work, project based, hitting objectives, termly goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, and very much, and also for my end, I thought it was like I could try and help sort placements and events for students. Again, it was a different direction to obviously what the PT, the S&C, and some of the teaching, but very, very useful and very, very applicable. I would recommend you having a go at trying to get in one of the student officer jobs, because I think it's a brilliant job and you do learn like a lot from it. But it's what you put in, it's what you end up getting out of it. So in terms of other things that I got involved with, we promoted, the varsity events, so Teesside Uni versus Sunderland, all the Bucks Wednesday fixtures. I work quite closely with obviously a lot of the sports courses, being sports science, sports therapy, sports journalism. So, for example, in sports journalism, we got a number of their students came in on Wednesday mornings for coffee, breakfast, early morning, and we would sit down, go through all the different events, what was going to happen in terms of sports, the fixtures, and would send the students out to them so they can report on it and whatnot, or send the details of the away fixture so they can have a contact with all the teams. I would go down, record a couple of games, and then we actually got to the point where at varsity we had both the Sunderland sports journalism course and our sports journalism courses running like a running a live Sky Sports style event through their TU Extra feed, which is great because they're at every sports match. They will update the fixtures very, very quickly. And I just felt like it was very professional. And obviously that only helped our experience, as athletes, teams, coaches, and members of university watching the event or being part of it, but also gave those students the experiences as well. So it was a win-win for everyone. From this year, I got involved with helping to create a course at the uni, the MA, the Masters or MA, Master of Arts in Esports. Again, course is ready to be launched. At the minute, we've just got a couple of modules of esports on some of the computer games and computer programming courses at the minute. Again, esports is a rapidly growing field, very, very popular, and as I think for you yourselves as well, it's going to evolve even further. And I think it's going to start looking at more sports science, sports therapy applications. How can esports athletes potentially recover better from gaming? How can they reduce injuries? It may sound silly, but the recurrence of injuries in the thumb and wrist and fingers is quite high due to just the constant playing, whatnot. So again, could be an avenue, and somebody's maybe laughing, but some of those esports teams are paid insanely well, and they are paid a lot more than most professional teams. So if I was you, I'd be maybe branching out as a sports therapist for an esports team. And you never know, you could be touring around the world to supporting elite gaming and whatnot. And then the last one there, I found this one was quite a useful experience, was very much policy, working group strategy stuff. So this was where you're working on the university sports strategy and how that sits within different departments, being the Students' Union, Sport and Wellbeing, the university itself, the sports science department, and or how does that influence the branding, how does that influence the wider context of the area, what's our partners, what's our links, what's our vision, what's our goals, how is it going to affect recruitment targets. So again, very, very interesting stuff. I think it's something you should all try and think about, where can I go and take my own work with. So from October 2019, I started my PhD here. So that is investigating the sedentary lifestyles of the Tees Valley region. And since then, I've got 4 published papers out. Again, most of them, I think 3 are within anabolic steroids, image, performance and drugs, and body image related topics. Other ones within transgender sports. I'm looking to probably get 4 or 5 papers out for my PhD, and I've got other ones on the way in relation to body image and strength sports as well. So again, just trying to branch out in different sort of areas, just so it keeps you more employable and whatnot. So it's always better just to keep my options open. That's just how I view it anyway. Wrote a piece for The Economist. Again, this was myself and a couple other friends, both of which I've done co-author papers with now, Professor George Antonopoulos and Joseph King. And it was like the rise of image and performance enhancing drug use in the UK, in particular within Wales. And the caption is how Welshmen went from mining coal to pumping iron. I'm also the current chair of the postgraduate society here, so that's just any sort of postgrad course or PhD student at the university can get involved with, and we host extracurricular activities to help enhance their employability and personal professional skills. I also worked on changing one of the teaching policies here at the uni, and that was the postgraduate researchers teaching framework, which you can see here. Again, just to improve, the PhD students' experience and professional skills. And again, just loads of conferences attending. So the World Anti-Doping Conference, Public Health England Conference, with obviously more to hopefully go on. A lot of reading with a PhD that just doesn't stop. So what I'm currently doing as of now with a PhD, despite COVID, going on. So at that point of the previous slide, that was probably up to December of 2019. So it was probably by January 2020, I had consulted for Middlesbrough Football Club, doing all the bit of esports work with them. I had a couple more research papers out, which took me up to the 5 by that stage, and then COVID hit, which obviously was a bit of a kick in the teeth. At that stage, I had my biggest ever client base at the uni, because I was just still doing PT, whatnot. Then in March, the gym then closed, so we couldn't do anything more with that. So that was paused. So I looked at, okay, I could use some extracurricular courses here. So that's when I did my associate fellowship in higher education and my QTLS, which I mentioned to you earlier. So the QTLS is always attached with the PGCE. The associate fellowship one, you guys don't need to worry about it just yet, unless you're looking to teach with an HE. It's just a way of personal and professional development, working your way up through it. But that's only if you want to teach in higher education. Been on the TV talking about anabolic steroid use within the UK. Continuing obviously my work with my PhD, and I'm currently doing my level 3 in GP exercise referral course, which then where I'm going to talk a little bit more what is exercise referral for you later on. So obviously my future career goals are lecturing, teaching, research in a uni is the main goal. By the time I'm sort of 40, around there, I want to aim for a senior position within a uni, like a senior lecturer, like a head of department, course lead sort of thing. I'd like to publish a book before I'm 35. After my level 3 exercise referral, I want to get my level 4 in diabetes and obesity. And also, along with the lecturing research over within uni, I want to do some freelance work or associated work by working with a local council public health team to tackle sedentary behaviour. It doesn't have to be within the Tees Valley, but any sort of part of the UK I'll be very, very happy with. The reason being with these two, because since with COVID-19 lockdown, you're going to see a lot more people coming out of this year with more health inequalities in their sort of region, district, town. You're going to see more people with diabetes or precursor to having it. You're going to see more people who are overweight, and those who already were overweight before COVID are going to be obese. You're going to see more patients with a range of COPD conditions as well. And this whole inactivity, sedentary behavior is an opportunity for you to get involved to really help and rehab people, because we're going to have to get the nation's population healthier to kickstart the economy again. And also, I'm going to see this. I'm going to predict there's going to be a lot of work in activity, physical activity, and mental health in the next probably 5 to 10 years, particularly out of COVID-19 and lockdown. So my advice would be to position yourselves, and maybe after you get your level 3 PTs, get your level 3 exercise referral and your level 4 obesity and diabetes, and or your level 4 in mental health. Yeah, level 4 in mental health. Just makes you more employable. That's all I'm saying. So that was me, or is me. I that is better English. So how can you enhance your own career prospects? So quick task. So once you read the 4 points here, you can then pause it, then do it. Then once done, unpause it, and then continue on. So with some paper or a Word document, write down a couple areas you want to work on that are personal to you. This can be your online presence, perhaps your public speaking, essay writing, or just your general subject knowledge of the area. Then from the points we cover in the next slide, see how you can learn and or make improvements from this. So give yourself 10 minutes, write down as many things you think you can work on or areas you want to improve. Write them all down, have a think, pause it, and then once done, unpause it, and then we'll then continue on. Okay. So how can I improve? Well, first thing you're gonna do is you gotta be honest and make a lot of self-reflection on yourself. Thinking, okay, what am I good at? What am I not good at? What can I look to improve? What's my habits like? What's my routine? Am I being objective enough here? And just reflect from day to day. Yes, I know probably some of you rolling your eyes right now. Oh, reflections, God. They are boring, but they are necessary for you to have personal growth. Be prepared to make many mistakes along the way, and that's fine. This isn't going to be a simple, like if I see the camera, a simple A to B. There's going to be very much up and down all the show before you get to your end point. Life's never simple as like a straight line across. Okay, it's going to be bumps in the road, and that's fine. Just learn from your mistakes and progress forward. And if you don't know something, just ask. Always learn from those who are smarter than you, and just ask them questions as well. And what you'll find is the more you learn, the less you end up knowing, because you realize there's more for you to actually learn. So when you keep reading and reading and reading, you'll build up a picture and stuff, but you have to remember you don't fall into your own biases or your own sort of train of thought. Learn to be critical and learn how and actually look to seek people who can challenge your thoughts and beliefs. Not everything is set in stone or factually based, or there's a plethora of evidence to back up one point. If there's like a train of thought on one thing, be critical in your essay, Ryan, and your coaching. Think, well, if there's a training program for one way of training an athlete, there's probably another way to like do the two. What's the pros and cons of each? Weigh them up, pilot them, test them, and then perhaps create a hybrid of the two. I think that's the best way you're going to end up learning, is by applying theories, discussing them with others, challenging your own beliefs and theirs, and then you can come away and take away the main points of what is good and what's bad. Again, I've probably said this a million times throughout this thing, but don't be afraid to ask questions. Keep asking questions. I do think it's important one. Do put time, effort, and money into developing yourself. I put a lot of my, I say a lot of my money at the minute is just buying books. Just keep reading books, keep learning, because I can annotate, I can edit. So yeah, for example, like here, I've just got like markers of everything, like all color coordinated for different sort of chapters I'm writing in the minute. And they're all my notes, ramblings, and thoughts on top of what's already been written in it. And I think that's a good investment of my money. I'm putting my own effort into it. It's a good use of my own time because I'm getting something out of it. And obviously, I think the last one, particularly for an athlete and stuff, you can understand it quite well. Be willing to outwork anyone, because then you're competing with jobs. So everyone in your class, even though they may be all your friends and peers, you're going to have to compete with them for jobs as well. And it's about asking yourself, am I willing to put in the work to get the job I want over my friends? And if you can say yes, then great. And if not, no, that's fine. At least you're honest with yourself. You can work towards improving that. And again, just a wee one. You've probably seen this in training plans and up, but the SMART acronym: specific, measurable, assignable, realistic, and time-based, is a good way of breaking down your own goals from short-term to medium and long-term. Okay, social media. So again, if you're not on it already in relation to your own learning and or your own brand, you should definitely start now. Because again, if you're trying to create an image and you're trying to sell the image and trying to create a brand that's about something about you, about what you're trying to do, and you're trying to show your passion for that. Not only that, but employers will look at your social media profile, see what comes up with it, and consider you, or maybe not consider you, for the next round of interviews or the next stage of their job application process. Because for all of us here, it is fitness to practice. And this is not about being physically fit for the job to practice within their department, whatnot. This is about, are they fit to practice? I.e., do they meet the professional standards to be here and whatnot? And if you're not, this can have serious implications for it. Again, one that I will say I'm quite passionate about is blogging and writing articles, whatnot. It's free. Just set up your own site on WordPress, eBlogger, or create your own site. Simple, personalized. You can do it on LinkedIn as well, your own blogs and everything, or your own articles. You can track your posts and views, get shared on various platforms, get asked to write for sites, potentially get paid. Again, this could be one other career avenue. Again, these are some of the sites that I have published on or have been asked to publish on. LinkedIn, oh, apologies, skip slide there. LinkedIn, to me, is the Facebook of job profiles. It's very much, the professional side to your Facebook profile. And you can obviously market yourself, see how you want to be presented. Oh, sorry, phone just going off here. Quickly say, doing it. There we go. Apologies for that. Yeah, so with LinkedIn, it's very much, you're marketing yourself online to potential employers, or you're seeing how other fellow peers or people in the industry are applying themselves, what they're looking for. You can discuss with other coaches, professionals, and forums, groups. So again, it's very, very good for that sense, and it's quite a handy network because a lot of people would share information, a lot of like best practice. So it's very much from you learning business, professionalism, or organizational skills from that side. That's how I would interpret it. You wouldn't get so much as subject-based knowledge in terms of like a classroom, like what we're doing here when you talk about like sports therapy, rehab, for example. However, it is a very underrated social media site, and I think you should all be on it. What you can do is you can see what experiences others have, perhaps it's someone you're comparing to or someone you want to try and get at in a similar type of job. What you can do is see recommendations, what they've done, and you can obviously always drop people a message and say, what have they done in their own career, how things have changed for them, what have they learned and stuff. So I do think it is a very good site, and in essence, it is an online CV that you can constantly change for people to see and view. Again, LinkedIn continues. So again, you can break this all down. So you can explore job roles, researching your career path, identifying organizations, explore your different fields within your own sector, study, whatnot, develop your network of professional contacts, and also identify potential contacts as well. So again, I think this is quite a useful little box you can have here when doing it. And also, more importantly, LinkedIn's free, by the way, so you don't need to worry about paying a fee for it. TV with YouTube, whatnot, again, it's probably the easiest way to get noticed out there. Internet and the camera, views, subscribers, and a brand. There's regular content means regular followers. You can build up a platform there. It is free. You can just use your phone to do it or a computer, and the internet streaming service doesn't take a lot. Just need to talk. That's all. You can let adverts be on your site, and if you do right, it can be a source of income. And obviously, you can get like notice from it. So, for example, I got the opportunity to be on TV, again with one of my co-authors, Joseph King. There he is there. Again, this was on TRT, so this was Turkish radio and TV channel. And again, we're just sort of talking about, is anabolic steroids is anabolic steroids reaching the stage that it's so common that it's normalized here within the UK? And we're also talking about from like different perspectives and whatnot. So again, that was a great opportunity to be involved in. And from that there, I got noticed by The Economist, who asked me to do the article for them. And from that there, I got asked to attend a workshop in the country to share my own experiences about it, about steroid use within like from an academics perspective in terms of like data collection, recruitment, and whatnot. So again, just from that one thing, there was like multiple opportunities from that as well. So I do think it is the easiest way to get noticed. So key skills employers look for. So these are things which you don't need to do a course for. These things you can learn yourselves and embed in. These can be being on time, being patient, working hard, being motivated, willingness to learn and adapt, be challenged and to challenge others, being professional, not in your attire and dress wear, but in your attitude and how you approach tasks, and also being accountable for all your work and your actions. And again, a lot of those things would open up many doors for you as well. So I've got 4 case studies here for you. Again, these are just potential career routes you can go on down. Okay, these aren't the only 4, or by means these are the 4 best ones, but these are 4 that I think are relevant to your own area. So the first one is opening your own private business. So you're your own boss, self-employed. You get to travel to clients and or businesses, or they can travel to you. Use social media to market yourself, website, whatnot. Work at bigger events, freelance yourself out. associate yourself with local sports teams, clubs, groups, whatnot. Could end up being based at a gym or small office as a hub. And again, I put an example here. This is therapists on the high street. Again, many people combine now personal training with sports therapy and or some other things. So that could be sports therapy and yoga or Pilates, personal training, sports therapy, or sports therapy and exercise referral. Again, a range of things here. So it's not just one service you're offering multiple services, or if the service gets big enough, you can have other staff in who run different programs as well. So then this year could actually grow further and further. Second one, again, this is quite a popular one within sports therapy students. Again, some of you may have already been thinking, well, after my undergrad, I'm going to do a master's in this or go back and do the undergrad in this. Many people do go on do the physio route. It's a progression to work in the NHS, increased level of knowledge from having a sports therapy rehab background, and it does stand you in good stead when you do go for the physio route. What I do find and see from speaking with friends who've done sports therapy then onto the physio course, they find it a lot easier because they've got that detailed knowledge of the human body and the anatomy, and they're almost better placed for it, which is obviously great. It's a win-win. As I said, many of you do end up doing the masters in it, or you go back doing the physiotherapy undergrad, but it doesn't really matter because both end up working in the NHS anyway. Again, your contracted hours, working within different wards in hospital or trust, pays good, and the progression's good in it as well. And obviously, you can have a pretty good pension with it too, if you obviously just keep at it and whatnot. But also, you don't just have to work within the NHS. You can also do private as a business too, later on in your life, and or you can also freelance with other sports teams too. So again, there's a whole range of things. I have put a link in there to the physiotherapy undergraduate course for use. So again, the case study 3, there's GP exercise, which is GP referral and exercise specialist, or GP exercise referral, as it's known as. So what this here is that you would work with, or you're then allowed to then work with any sort of patient with, like, sort of, let's say, asthma, diabetes, type 1 and 2, obesity, any sort of COPD, hypertension, stress, that is being referred from a GP clinic to you directly. So you can then walk into all the GPs in the area and say, here, listen, here's my card, my details. I'm qualified in exercise referral, whatnot now. I'm more than happy to work with all your clients and stuff. We can have a chat with this. Let's see if we can create a program in place where you can send your clients to me. The first couple of sessions are free. After that is they'll then pay a small fee, and then that way you've then got clients in and stuff. That is one way of doing it. I know in some other places through exercise referral clinics that the GPs and clinics themselves will just pay you directly and send you the clients, but the clients don't have to pay anything. So there's a couple of ways around it, but that's for you and the GP to then speak with it as well. I would recommend doing it, particularly because, as I said, with lockdown and COVID-19, we're going to see a lot more of sedentary behavior and inactivity from the general population, which means more people are going to need exercise help and support. And obviously, combine this with your sports therapy rehab background, you're going to do very, very, very well with it. Because not only people will come for the massage from a rehab perspective, they'll come that to help and de-stress from work as well. So that helps their mental health too. And the last one is teaching. So this could be teaching PE in secondary grammar schools, teaching PE or foundation level sports science in a college, and then finally teaching sports science or sports therapy at higher education level. You can also do sports therapy at foundation level as well. Again, this is more secure work, pension, fixed hours, but does come with additional work outside the curriculum I working with sports teams the weekends or Wednesday afternoons, depending when the sports games are fixed. And I have to put a link there with the PGCE course, which also has the QTLS embedded in it as well, so you can check that out too. Last couple of slides. So my advice is to you, guys, don't worry about what the end goal may be in your career, because there's so many things you could end up doing. You know, there's clinical cardiac physiologist, dietitian, PTI in the army, PE teacher, personal trainer, lecturer, performance analysis, physical activity development manager, gym manager, psychologist, S&C coach, GP, exercise referral consultant, whatnot. There's loads there. There's loads. What does matter is focus on being employable by gaining relevant skills and experiences, trying many things out, asking questions, trying new experiences, learning new things, speaking with people in different fields, asking people about what you want to do and how, you know, your experiences can help improve people's lives, and or how your experiences can help generate potential incomes to make you more employable so you can have a career. So these are just some of the tips I'll give you to get ahead for the competition for courses and jobs. CV practice. So what I mean by that is create multiple CVs. Not only makes it easier for quickly applying for jobs if something comes out, but also it means you can differentiate between different types of jobs. So I've got a CV for teaching, a CV for sport and exercise science, a CV for doping, anti-doping with performance enhancing drugs, and a CV for, let's see, so with under the teaching would be academia, research as well, and again one other CV just for, you know, like personal training, S&C and or coaching. So that way I can differentiate between the two, between them all, and personalize job application profiles when the need comes. It also means you become better at it, and you get it, you know more about yourself and what you can offer too. It's just a good skill you can really do. It'll save you a lot of time in the future, trust me. Arrange meetings. As I said, like we're talking about LinkedIn, just fire people a message, ask them how they got into the position they're in, or speak to that academic who's doing really well in the field and ask them about, you know, your potential final year project idea. And then just ask for me, just ask for a chat, ask for coffee or tea. You know, there's nothing wrong in doing that. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. Or if someone's running a business you quite like, just fire them a message on Instagram, Facebook. Again, there's nothing stopping you from doing that as well. Plan ahead. Like I'm always planning. Like any good athlete and coach plans for the next season or the next week or the next training session. You should be doing that for your own career too. Don't just take it that by the end of your 3 years you'll have a job. That's uncertainty, that's not stable, and that's not secure enough. You need a plan. You need to plan for multiple scenarios and how you're going to keep progressing forward. Work experience, again, keep asking and try and get into many places to learn off different people. I know within your course you've got placements, which is brilliant, it's great, but again, try and do other placements and learn off other people. If you've got a couple of mates, you know, who are needing other people to help cover hours and stuff, get in there and help out. It'll just open the door for potential connections and whatnot. Do additional qualifications, that be your PGCE, your QTLS, or your level 3 PT, or your level 3 exercise referral. Again, can be a range of things. Shadow others, you know, learn off other coaches, watch them how they do things is a great thing you can do, and very, very underrated. Obviously, with COVID, we can't really do it at the minute, but whatnot. But it is something we can, obviously you can look forward to then doing, albeit at social distance, whatnot. Mentoring. I think mentoring is a great thing to do. It's a great way to give back and obviously and help other students or peers and coaches. Again, there's nothing wrong in sharing experiences and helping others. And I think it's a good form of reflective practice for you as well. So that way you can sort of see, okay, what are my strengths? How can I help someone? What did I learn? What can I tell them not to do, not to make the same mistakes as I did? And I think that's a good thing to do, not only for your own personal development, but for their development as a up and coming coach or sports therapist. Whatnot. Volunteer. Again, volunteer with clubs, groups, organizations. Again, it helps to create your name, a brand, helps your understanding your core skills, but also, volunteering it's a nice thing to do, and employers look on it very, very favorably. And one in bold here I think is very important is be willing to be uncomfortable in your own learning. If it's very easy and all going well, you're probably not working that hard. You need to really push yourself, and you need to be finding, wow, I need to learn a lot here. I need to challenge myself. I need to think that once I've done something, there's nothing else I could have physically put into that essay, into that training session plan, or into that presentation, lecture, whatnot. And obviously be willing to be uncomfortable, but also have other people challenge you as well. Don't just pander to your audience that this is safe, everyone agrees with me. Ask people who don't agree with you and start thinking like, oh, this is what I think of this. Well, how would you counteract this? Again, be uncomfortable in your own learning and accept criticism and challenges. And then lastly, reflect on everything and repeat. That's it. So, final summary. Oh, I don't know if it's gone on very quickly. So your ideal job when you start a degree will probably or may change at uni, and this will be for the best, and it'll be better due to the effort that you want to put into shaping your own career. I went from obviously elite level sport athlete to now I'm more research, teaching, and public health. That's kind of where I want to be. So I've gone like the opposite way. But again, I'm a lot happier for it, like way happier for it. Be honest with yourself. If you know you lack a skill, go out and work on it. Don't just leave it. If you suck at SPSS, go and learn SPSS. Don't just leave it. Don't leave it to the last minute and then just moan and cry about it. Ask for help. Get involved with as much activities and external events as possible. That's the only way you're going to meet new people, open up doors, and it's where you can ask questions. And again, as I said it many times tonight, ask questions, be curious, and watch and learn off others. And most importantly, work harder than the person sitting next to you or on the screen next to you when you're watching this. And obviously, if you do have any questions, just fire me an email to a.s.richardson@tees.ac.uk. For homework, I have given Will a sheet. It's your SWOT analysis, so that's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and challenges. I would like you to fill it out for me and then send it back to me as soon as possible. And then hopefully by that stage, we can meet face to face, whatnot, and we can do one-to-one sessions where I can chat you through potential career stuff. And if it's stuff within the area, I can link you with different groups and stuff. More than happy to help out every student on this course for potential work or even just a general chit chat around career advice. My details are all there. Again, I'm linked to my blogs there as well. You can see what I'm doing. LinkedIn profile there too. Instagram, Twitter. Hopefully, when things open up, if you ever just need to see me or want to chat about career advice, I'm located the first floor of the Clarendon within the student village. But yeah, thank you very much for listening. I hope that was of some use. Again, showing you what I've done over my years, but also what you can potentially go ahead and do as potential careers and just different ways of doing it and stuff. But best luck in all of your exams. Keep on working hard and looking forward to speaking to you in person. And I'll see you in the next lecture. See you now.